How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be building another one of them woodshed slash log holder. This one here, we're going to build it a little bit more friendly, material friendly, so we're not using up as much material. When I built the last one, it was 24 by 24, but it was 52 inches high. We need to straighten that up a little bit. That way, if you're using conventional lumber, unlike me, I can cut the wood on the sawmill and cut it any size I want. But if you're going to build it, you're probably going to want to buy certain sizes, which like an 8-foot board, then you can cut it in half and get 2 boards out of one. So we're just going to kind of make it a little more friendly like that, and we're going to take our time and do the measurements as best that I can on this. So if you're wanting to follow along and build one of these things, you can. Now, hopefully, when we get all done, maybe I can do a little blueprint on this, and if you want a blueprint, maybe a small donation, will get yourself a blueprint. So we'll see. I'm going to try to get everything written down, what we're doing, and we'll see how it works out. So our first step on this thing is we're going to need 2x4, which that's what you guys are going to use. If you ain't got a sawmill, you're going to go to the lumber store, get yourself at least one 2x4. And this is going to work out great for you. Actually, you only need about 4 foot of that 2x4 to do this project. So we want to cut 2 pieces 24 inches long and 2 pieces 15 inches long. So overall, when we get done, we want a box here that's going to be 24 inches wide and 18 inches deep. Now this is going to allow us to put a log in here between 12 and 18 inches. Most of my wood that I cut and I burn in the house is about 16 inches. So this is going to work out great. Now this one here is going to be built for more or less on a porch, under roof, or you want to put it in your house, you could put it in your house close to your wood burner or fireplace or whatever you have. But that's the kind we're going to build this time. And like I said, we're going to take our time so you guys can follow along. So now that we got our box, all we got to do is get this box screwed together. So I'm going to be using 8 3-inch screws on these. On each corner, we're going to put 2 screws. So you needed 8 3-inch screws to get your base done. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to cut 3 of your 1x6s to put on your floor, and these are going to be 24 inches long. So just leave a space in between these. It's not going to hurt anything. You're just going to be laying firewood on it. So we're going to go ahead and screw these down. We're going to use 2-inch screws to screw our floor down to our base. Like I said, just kind of split the difference up between the gaps. You should be okay. Now, if you don't want to leave spaces in here, you can slide them all the way one side and cut a strip and put in there if you want. What I would suggest doing is, if this is, say it's 5.5 and you need an extra 2, make maybe 2.5 and a 4-inch one. You know what I mean? Just to make up that difference in there. But because that way you don't have a real tiny little strip inside there. Okay, we're going to get ready to start cutting our sideboards. These are going to be 4 foot long, so if we're buying 8-foot lumber, we're just going to cut those boards in half, and we're going to need 10 of them for this next step. That's going to be for the 2 sides and the back. Now, if you're not using rough cut lumber, you can skip this process here, but on mine, I'm using sawmill lumber. And it's pretty shaggy. I want to try to knock some of this off, not all of it, because I want to keep the character. I just don't want it to be real fuzzy like that. So we're using our Mellif sander. This thing is really a good little sander. I've been using it for a while, and definitely working out great for us. Okay, instead of working on the back, we're going to do the two sides first so we can get our angle for our roof. So what I've done here is I got my 18 3/4. I needed this wall 18 3/4. Then I needed this board a little bit shorter. It's going to be 18. That's so we can kind of stagger these corners. And I went 22.5 inches from the bottom, 22.5 inches. So we're going to go ahead and nail this board into place. And we're just going to be using our staple gun to staple this guy together. So now what we want to do is we want to get about a 2-inch slope to the front of this little shed. So we're going to measure this up. Instead of going to 48, we're going to go to 46 on this side to nothing on the other side. So now this thing is actually designed to be inside the house or under roof. So we don't need a whole lot of slope on this. Okay, so we got our side up here. I got a couple staples holding it into place. We got 2 inches down on this side. We're going to go ahead and screw this to that base down there. We're going to be using an 1 3/4 screw. It's going to take about 8 of them per side on the bottom. Now we're going to work on the other side. Okay, I'm working on one of the sides here, and what I want to do is to make sure our cross beam on the inside is exactly 22.5 inches from the bottom. When you're building these things, you have to remember that you need to flip these around, because I have this board flush on the front, and then I have a 3/4 inch gap on the back here, so I can slide the new wall, the back wall, inside this, kind of linking them together. So we're going to go ahead and nail this one up. I got it all set up and clamped. Now, one thing about my lumber here with the sawmill, it is warped and it has plenty of character. So I don't try to take too much of it out. I just try to make it look decent. A lot of staples. Now this board here is about 6-degree angle on my miter saw on both sides at that 2-inch slope. So if you're having a hard time getting that angle, take your board, if you have a board long enough there, stick it across there and match it up. Then take your pencil and mark the underneath on both sides. And then you'll have your angle on here of your board that you need to cut. And I want to leave mine 3/4 inches from the back, so I cut it 3/4 of an inch short. And we're going to go ahead and mount this one on. We're going to be using 1 3/4 screws. It's going to take 8 of them. Alright, now is when we're going to start working on our back. Alright, we're going to be using a 2.5 inch screw, one going in this direction and one going in this direction in these boards that we had put on the back for support. Now we put a couple staples in there. Staples are holding it into place, but these screws should do a lot better job. So we're going to put them in here also. Now when they start throwing wood in there, this is going to help hold this thing together. We'll do that to both corners. That should make us a nice sturdy back. I cut a couple small blocks about 3 inches long, and I'm going to put these, because we need to nail these little pieces in, and I'm going to put it right up in this top corner flush with that, so I'll have something to screw into. We'll do the same thing on this side. Now that'll give me a place to put my screw. When we put these on here, I'll be able to put a screw right through the center of that block. Okay, I'm getting ready to do the roof. Now we know this roof doesn't have to function outside. This is going to be on the porch, wood shed, or in-house, whatever you want to do with it. And I was going to come up with some kind of roof for this thing, and I thought, well, why not the old cut ends of this wood, because it does have a lot of character. So I think that's the way I'm going to do it. I just went along the back and marked them all, and then we're going to go ahead and cut them, and we're just going to mount them right up on the top of here, and then we'll do some kind of little battens over the little strips here. Well, Julie came out and she looked at it, and she wasn't crazy about those big boards that we had on the top. These guys here. So we took them back off and we cut some tiny ones to put on here. And I do think they look better. That's why it's always nice to have that second opinion when you're building something. And I think those are going to look a lot nicer on there. So we're going to get them nailed into place, just staple them into place, and I think that looks pretty slick. Alright, so I think we got our roof done here now. This does look pretty good, and it looks clean. I do like the rough look at this front. I really think that looks awesome. Yeah, this woodshed's just about done. Now, what I did for a shelf in this one is, there's already a board going across here, so I cut these boards 24 inches. So now you can put your starter wood or your smaller wood on the top, and then your larger wood could be put on the bottom. And I'm not going to make this to where it actually stays in there. I'm going to make that to where you can remove it. If you don't want your starter wood in here, or smaller wood here and bigger wood here, you could always take this out and stack the whole entire thing. Just leave these lay in there. Don't nail them in. Okay, our second woodshed is finished. I think this thing turned out great. I really like having the shelf in here so we can put smaller wood up here and bigger wood down there. But what's nice about it is we can take this shelf right out and put bigger wood in there, or put all small wood, whatever you want. You know, it's really nice to be able to personalize this thing yourself, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't put any stain on the outside of this. I didn't paint it, I didn't stain it. I don't know what somebody wants, I'm not sure, but this allows them to personalize this to whatever stains in their house or whatever they like. So yeah, but it's a good sturdy box. This would last, for me, I would last a few days in the house burning just this here. I wouldn't really care to have the shelf in there because I don't care. We don't start our fire much. You start it once in the spring and it burns all winter long. So we don't really need the starter wood. But yeah, it turned out great. I think it did. What do you guys think? You think it turned out okay? Leave it in the comments down there and let me know what you think of these little guys. I thought about maybe you know, taking some of them out maybe to a flea market and see if somebody wanted to purchase something like this. I think if we had them full of wood, they'd probably sell a lot faster. You notice you go to Lowe's, you get that little bundle of wood. It's about 5 pieces of wood for like $8 or $10 now. Good Lord. There's $100 worth of wood inside that one right there. Yeah, crazy. But anyhow, this one's done, and I think it looks great. And we're going to work on that blueprint for this thing. We're going to see what we can do about a blueprint. So I would like to tell everyone, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.